right. So just getting prepared here to go live. Awesome, awesome. I'm excited about tonight, guys. So welcome to the Fishin' Pastor Live. I am your host, David the Fishin' Pastor. And tonight I'm going to be answering the questions that you guys sent in. But before I do that, I want to quickly introduce you to myself and to my channel, though many of you may already know who I am and have watched my videos. But just in case you're tuning in for the first time or you're watching this on replay after the fact, my name is David, aka the Fishin' Pastor, and I'm a pastor out of Northern California, and I love to fish. I love to teach, so I took those two things and put them together and made this fishing, teaching YouTube channel thing, and it's been steadily growing. And in case you haven't, feel free to browse around my channel, hit some likes on those videos, and if you really like it, make sure to hit subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber here, make sure to share the channel with people. It's getting close. I'm getting closer to 2,000 subscribers, and I'm super excited about that, guys. It's just been an amazing journey. But again, tonight I'm going to answer those questions that you guys sent in. And I really honestly thought that some of these questions were going to be like light-hearted, whatever questions. But they were actually some really good questions. So hopefully I have sufficient answers for you guys tonight, because they were really... I was like, man, these are some really amazing questions. And if you're just tuning in right now, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you being here. Make sure to comment in the chat. Let me know where you're viewing from. I'd love to know where you're at right now, and you know, state, city, whatever you want to put in there. I'd love to hear from you guys. And the last live stream I did, I had people tuning in from like the Dominican Republic and England and different places. Just really cool. So let me know where you guys are at. Let me know even what time it's at where you're at. You know, I'd love to hear from you guys. So again, we're going to start off tonight answering some of your questions. Some of you guys sent them in through Instagram. Some of you sent them in through YouTube, and they were all really good. So I'm going to start off with Instagram, and then I'm going to go to YouTube from there, because I had less on Instagram. But they were some really good ones. So let me start off with this one, and I'm going to choose one question tonight and just give that person a shout out on my channel. You know, if you have I'll shout you out, and if you have a YouTube channel or whatever, I'll link that below so that people can go check you out as well. So the first one is from Instagram. This was from Duhan Eddie, I believe is the name. I sorry if I butchered that, but he asked, if you only had one color plastic worm, crankbait, and jig, what color would you choose for year-round fishing? If you only had one color of a plastic worm, of a crankbait, and of a jig, what would you choose for year-round fishing? Let me know what you guys would choose. Also, you know, I'd love to hear from you guys and know what whether you're watching this right now, put it in the chat, or you're watching this after the fact, put it in the comments down below. I'd love to know your guys' answers to these questions too. But if I only had one color plastic worm, my favorite color plastic worm by far, normally what I choose for like drop shots and things like that, has to be a bold bluegill. And Yum makes bold bluegill, and I think even RoboWorm makes a bold bluegill as well. And I absolutely love that color. It's honestly, I catch a lot of fish on it, and there's just something about it. It's good for different colored waters. I've caught fish in super clear water and pretty dirty water as well with bold bluegill. So colored worm, I'd have to say something along a bold bluegill. If it were a crankbait, man, I'd have to go with a shad pattern crankbait, a white with a little bit of chartreuse on it. That's what I fish a lot. I also fish, you know, craw patterns. I also fish bluegill patterns, but by far the most success for me has been on a shad pattern. So let me know if you guys agree with that. And then also a jig. Ooh, you know, I kind of like regular colored jigs. You know, like a Gosh, what's a good color? Just like a what is it, like a pumpkin seed? What is the color? What is it called? Watermelon pumpkin. There you go. Watermelon pumpkin is a great color. I really kind of like to match the hatcher, like a green pumpkin, watermelon pumpkin, something like that. And I feel like it really does well. I like to change up my trailers depending on the water. If it's a little bit dirty, I'll go with like a darker trailer, or usually sometimes a darker jig or something like that. And I'll throw that. But I think it really imitates a crawl really well, and so I like to throw those colors that are very similar to the crawls that are in the water themselves. So, do you want any? Hopefully that answers your question. So, bold bluegill, a shad pattern, and then like a green pumpkin or watermelon pumpkin, something along the lines of that. And I could fish that literally all year and be happy with it. So, from my friend over at Sonora Bass Fishing, in case you haven't checked out his channel, it's possible you haven't because he does his videos in Spanish, but something really cool before I answer his question from Sonora Bass Fishing, and I don't know if he's on here, if he's going to jump on later, but we've been contacting each other for some time, and I remember he contacted me early last year, and then we talked, and he started doing some more YouTube videos and stuff, and it was really cool. He had some questions for me, and then his channel, not saying that I had anything to do with it, but he started making some really great videos, and then his channel just exploded, and then he's like 30,000+ subscribers now, and he just fished that LTB tournament with MTB tournament with like John B and all of them. So really cool. He's a great guy, and now he's also a fellow Cast King brand ambassador along with me. So he sent in this question, and he said, what kind of camera, filming equipment, and settings do you use to film? And so, you know, I have a couple of different cameras, and I prefer, you know, if you watch my videos and you watch my channel, which if you're on here, most likely you have, you know, I do mostly a teaching style video. It's not so much, I do every once in a while, like I'll go out and fish and throw on a GoPro, whatever, and I have a GoPro, but that's not really my style. I really like the whole teaching thing above the just watching me fish thing. And you know, whatever. I try to balance it out a little bit, but mostly teaching. But I use a Sony NEX camera. I think it's called an NEX 3 or something like that. I didn't bring it with me, but it's one of those small. It's not a DSLR, but it's like a small kind of mirrorless camera, and it does a really great job. I've had it for a few years now, and maybe it's time to upgrade, but it seems to do a really good job. When I'm on the water, usually either a GoPro or I have something called an SJ4000. It's kind of a knockoff version, if you will, of a GoPro, and they do the job. I'm hoping this year to upgrade my cameras. I'm hoping to maybe get another GoPro. If you have any suggestions about some really good action cameras, please let me know, because I'd love to hear from you guys about that. But yeah, a GoPro or my Sony camera is my main camera. That's what I do most of my filming with. So hopefully that answers your questions. And then my buddy North Bay Bassing, when do we get to see some kayak videos? Gosh, guys, I am itching to do some kayak fishing. I miss my kayak. I still have my kayak, but there's a couple of reasons why I haven't done them. Number one, it's been really cold out. Yeah, even for Northern California, it has been really cold. And then number two, I actually got a new car, and this car doesn't have a roof rack like my old one did, so it's harder to it's harder to mount it on my car. So pretty soon, for sure, spring 2018. I'm going to be doing some more kayak fishing. And just shout out to you guys, Magic Yacker, who's on here. Hey, what's up, man? And all of you guys, man, thank you guys for tuning in. I really enjoy having you guys on here. But we're going to move on. So those are the Instagram questions. Hopefully those answer those questions. And I'm going to jump over to YouTube. And again, if you guys have any any questions, or if you want to just share your responses along with me, feel free to put those in there. So I got a question from Emily Ratliff, and she asked, what is your favorite presentation for each time of the year? Man, that's one to really think about. If you have a favorite presentation for each time of the year, let me know what those are. But I am a huge crankbait guy. My comfort is in crankbaits. My go-to really is crankbaits. I get a lot of confidence when I'm crankbait fishing. There's just something about it that I'm like, I know I'm going to catch a fish if I throw a crankbait. Even if it's in winter, I've still been throwing crankbaits this winter and caught a couple. Actually, if you're on my Instagram, there was a picture I just posted up yesterday of a 2-pound smallmouth that I just caught. And I caught that on a red craw pattern crankbait. So it was definitely spring and fall. I am throwing crankbaits, and I'm throwing shallow crankbaits. I'm throwing square bills, or if all else fails, I am throwing a lipless crankbait. That is one of my go-tos for sure. Also, I'm going to be throwing a drop shot, and one of my new favorites actually that I've been throwing a lot lately is the Ned rig. I love the Ned rig, but not with the little TRDs. You know, I don't know why, and maybe this is like awful. This may be awful, but I hate Senkos. There's something about them that I just don't like, and I know that's like, man, that's just the Senko is a staple of bass fishing, but it's just not my thing. I cannot catch fish on Senkos or stick baits. It just doesn't really work for me. I've caught a few, so even using the little TRDs, man, I have to change them out. So what I use actually is the Z-Man, the little tubes, the tiny tubes that go on the Ned rigs, and those I love those. I love the action. There's just something about Senkos that drives me nuts. But I'm going to try to fish more Senkos this year and hopefully get on some fish with those. So definitely a drop shot, a Ned rig, or a crankbait. And then my other favorite is going to be some type of a jig, whether it's a flipping jig, a football head jig, or one of my favorites is the finesse jig. Love finesse jigs. Yeah, guys, so I'm looking at who's tuning in. I'm seeing Magic Yacker, Senor, Bass Fishing. Welcome, you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys being here. Man, I'm going to go really quick before I go to the more questions. I want to see where you guys are tuning in from. I'm seeing Florida. I am seeing DC, Sarasota, Florida, Apollo Beach, Florida, Toronto, San Jose, California. What's up, San Jose? New Jersey. Awesome, guys. That is amazing. Thank you guys for tuning in. What's up, everybody? Greetings from New Jersey, Texas, Indiana. Man, I'm telling you, the fishing community is an awesome one. When you can get together with people, Virginia, when you can get together with people from all over the world, really. Like I said in my last live stream, I had people from like the Dominican Republic and England and all this stuff, and it's just super cool. Like Malaysia, man, it's just amazing to be able to share something with people worldwide and to know this many people loves fishing just as much as you do. So awesome, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. So next one, this is from Waviest, and he asked, "Hey Dave, I am in a fishing club at my school, and we are trying to get sponsors because we don't have a lot of money for lures, rods, reels, line. But if you can give us some advice, that will be great. Thank you." So this is what I'm going to say about sponsors, and you know, many of you know, if not all of you, that I am a Cast King brand ambassador, proudly a Cast King brand ambassador. Love the company. And you know, honestly, I feel privileged because I just don't feel like I don't know, whatever. I think it's amazing that they've given me this wonderful opportunity. But at the end of the day, when I think about sponsors, you have to really ask yourself, and I know a lot of people ask about sponsors and people are looking for sponsors. And one thing that kind of gets me is when I go to somebody's like Instagram and their little caption or whatever says looking for sponsors, or you know, it seems a little bit desperate to me. You know, and it's not something really that I actively pursue, is like looking for sponsors. But you have to ask yourself the question really when it comes to sponsors is, what do I have to offer them? It's not what is it that they can do for me, but what really can I do for them? Because at the end of the day, it's a business, and they want to get their products out there. Do you have a good following on Instagram? Do you have a good subscriber base on YouTube? Can you get the word out? Can you influence people and push people that way? And I know some people hate sponsors, some people love sponsors, and there's this whole debate on it. Fine, whatever. But at the end of the day, I have to ask myself, what do I have to offer these companies? I've been offered different things, and I went with Casking because I think it's a really great company that shares a lot of my values, and that's really important too. It's not just about getting stuff. It's not just about okay, I'm going to go with this company. I think it has to be something that's going to be a good fit for you, something that fits your values, something that you're going to love to do, something that you're going to be passionate about and not feel guilty about pushing people that way. Because they're giving you stuff or they're paying you or whatever the setup or the situation is. But again, if you're looking for people to sponsor you, man, give them something to sponsor. Grow your subscriber base, grow your followers, become an influence, become a voice. Have something unique to offer. Sonora Best got to believe in their products for sure. And regardless of what other people are saying, and there's always going to be debates, and there's always going to be different opinions, and that's okay. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. That's awesome. I love to hear people's opinions. But if it's something that's a fit for you, and it's something that you love to do, and again, you have something to offer them, then by all means, go for it. But I really don't like the somebody sponsor me. You're always it's like, okay, you're I don't know that attracts companies to you necessarily. I could be wrong, but that's just my take on it. So hopefully that answers your question. Dewey Cash, I believe you're on here, possibly. Hey, Pastor Dave, my question is how you used your faith in connection with your YouTube channel. And as a creator, what recommendations do you have for growing your channel? I read this question a few days ago, and I've actually been thinking about it since you asked it, because it's actually a really good question, and the answer that I really came up with is the content of my channel is fishing, but the foundation of my channel is my faith. And that's because the foundation of my life is my faith. Fishing is something I do, but my faith is really who I am. And so it has everything to do with my channel. And, I've talked about being a believer, and maybe you are and maybe you're not. And if you're not, that's totally okay. I'm not here to shove anything down your throat. But at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to is my faith. And so that drives everything that I do here, and that is the driving force behind every video that I make and everything that I'm doing on Instagram and on Facebook and on YouTube and all that, because ultimately at the end of the day I've said it's all about God. So that is what it comes down to for me. I'm a believer. I'm not afraid. I'm not ashamed to say that. I mean, pray is in my motto, and so. It's who I am, and it has everything to do. What recommendations do you have for growing your channel? One thing that I think is really important, and one thing that I have struggled with in the last year and that I'm really trying to do better with this year is consistency. Is consistently uploading to your channel. I mean, I went like a month or two without uploading a video, and it hurts you. If you want people to tune in, give them something to tune into and have quality content. I know a lot of the guys who grow their channels, a lot of it's personality based, and I'm not like the super bubbly hey kind of, it's just not who I am. So I have to really rely on the content that I put out, and also being consistent in putting that content out, and just giving them something that they like to watch. Rely on the feedback that people give you. If they're saying great videos, great job, do more stuff like this, then do that because they're liking it. If they're not tuning in, you put a video and you see you're not getting any responses or views or anything, then switch something up and see what works better for you. I really believe in good video quality. I really don't like to watch videos of somebody talking in front of a GoPro. I don't think that it works out great for me. I like that good, crisp, clear content. That's just my personal. But yeah, find what people like, rely on their feedback, be consistent, and give them something to watch. So hopefully that helps you. So before I get to my next question, let me go back to the comments and see what you guys are saying. Oh, there's one here, John Harper. I know you asked what you asked here too. Do you ever keep and eat what you catch? What is your favorite lake or river fish? Yeah, if I go bass fishing, I don't keep bass. That's kind of a no-no there. But I do sometimes if I go crappie fishing, sometimes if I go bluegill fishing. A lot of times if I'm going to go do that, it's because I'm going to make me some fish tacos. I love crappie. I think honestly by far though my favorite fish that I personally catch and eat is trout. I don't do it very often. It's super, super rare. I don't have a lot of places around me that actually have trout. But when I do, if I catch a trout, I'm gonna keep it. That thing, I love trout. I really, really do. And so, but yeah, crappie generally is what I'm gonna keep. Sometimes bluegill, and I'm usually, again, you know, my kids love fish. I promise you, they will devour a fish. So yeah, bluegill, crappie, and if I catch a trout, then trout. I'm gonna try to do some saltwater fishing this year, I'm going to start saltwater fishing this year and hopefully get on some like rockfish and things like that because, man, those things look amazing to catch and to eat. So yeah, you know, with bass, I'm gonna confess something to you guys. When I first started fishing, I used to eat bass, and this was a good while ago, and that, I know that is awful, and I'm sorry, but I didn't know any better. I didn't know any better. So yeah, and you know, some people say they hate bass. I never kept anything big or anything big. They were all smaller fish, but some people say bass are awful. I actually think they're pretty good. They're very meaty. But it's been a long time since I've eaten a bass, I promise you guys. So hopefully that answers your question. Dom Strom Fishing asked, what is the biggest fish you've ever caught? Keep up the good work and amazing vids as well. Let me know, guys, what is your biggest fish? What is your PB? I'd love to hear from you guys on this. My biggest fish, my biggest bass at least, is a little bit under 5 pounds. And I'm a little embarrassed to say that. I'm pretty sure that I've actually hooked up a bigger fish or a couple of large fish and I've lost them. There was one that I hooked on a frog, or I had a bite on a frog, and I lost them, and it was heartbreaking. I know it was a very big fish. And then there was a couple more that I lost that I know I know for a fact were bigger than 5 pounds. So the one that I've actually been able to land and hold in my hands was just under 5 pounds. My goal this year, and I said this in the first video that I posted this year, my goal last year was not to break my PB. I just wanted to try new things, do new things. But my goal this year for sure is to catch my new PB. And one of the lakes here in my area has actually been producing some pretty good fish lately. So hopefully when I get out of my kayak in spring and go fishing, I can catch my new PB. But keep your fingers crossed. Ooh, 5 pound smallmouth. My God, that is enormous. But keep your fingers crossed for me. Throw up a prayer for me that I can catch my new PB this year. So I got this question, if you will, from Rick Boyette, and he said, and I'd love to know your guys' thoughts on this, because this is a highly debated topic, I think, that I've seen in multiple places. He said, I don't know if this is a question or not, but I've always questioned why people insist on running all this heavy braided line for heavy cover. It doesn't make sense to me that someone would use 65-pound test braid on a rod that is only rated for 12 to 20 or 25-pound test line. Same for a reel rating. Why overpower everything? I never exceed 17-pound test when flipping or pitching heavy stuff, and 12 to 15-pound for everything else. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think that super heavy braided line is necessary? Are you a 50 to 65-pound braided line person when you're flipping heavy cover? I'd love to hear from you guys on this and know what you think. If you're on the chat or if you're watching this afterwards, feel free to comment in the comments down below and let me know what you think about this. I use heavy braid. I use heavy braid because it gives me confidence. Whether it's completely necessary or not, I don't know. I wouldn't feel comfortable flipping some stuff that I flip with fluorocarbon line. I wouldn't feel comfortable, and I've lost fish on heavy braided line pulling them out of lily pads, and I know I wouldn't feel comfortable trying to pull those out on on fluorocarbon line, even if it is 20, 25 pound. There's something about braid, and I love, yeah, I love braided line. It really does cut through that stuff better. And I love heavy braid. Like I have a couple of Speed Demon reels that I use for pitching and flipping and stuff like that. And I think they're both spooled up with 65-pound braid because, yeah, I just it's a comfort for me. First of all, I can set the hook better because of that the zero stretch and braided line. Second of all, I feel like if the knot is going to hold much better because of the strength of the braid. And then again, yeah, it cuts through that cover better than like a fluorocarbon line would. So I believe in heavy braid. It just, and it gives me comfort and confidence in knowing that it's going to help me hook up on those fish and actually land those fish better than like a fluorocarbon line. Now, if I'm just flipping regular cover, stuff like that, yeah, I actually, when I first started fishing, I used like exclusively 12-pound 12-pound fluorocarbon for almost everything, for like Texas rigs and everything. And I landed a 4-pound fish on a Texas rig with 12-pound fluorocarbon. I don't think, but I wasn't flipping into anything heavy. So yeah, but I'm a big believer in braid. And talking about if the rod is rated for 12 to 20 pound, whatever, because braid has a smaller diameter, it's pretty much the same diameter. Like a 40-pound braid can be the same diameter as like a 12, 14-pound fluorocarbon. So it's not making a huge difference when you're spooling up and on your rod and things like that. So yeah, I'm a big believer in braid. But let me know what you guys think about that. I'd love to hear from you. And something that I kind of want to do on Instagram, and I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but I want to post some topics, and let me know what you think, if this would be a good idea. I want to just post some topics and start some friendly debates, not angry debates, but some friendly debates, on certain questions. Do you think matching the hatch works? Is heavy braided line necessary for flipping and pitching? Do you think that scents are necessary for your plastics? I posted one about are you a catch and release angler only? Another one, one that I was just thinking about actually is, if you foul hook a fish, do you count as a catch? Yes or no? I want to know what you guys think about that. So let me go to the next question real quick so that we can move on. Tim Hendrickson, do you do much fishing? No. I don't do as much fishing as I'd like to do. I'm honestly, guys, right now getting out once a week, and it is killing me. I need to get out more. This year, my goal is to do more fishing. It's to do more fishing. So do I do much fishing? If you think once a week is much fishing, then yes. If you don't, then absolutely not. I don't think it's much fishing. And then he said, how can I get sponsored? Again, going back to what I said earlier. And going back to what I said earlier, what do you have to offer these companies? Make sure you have something to offer them, and you'll see things start to roll in. I get messages from companies and people who want to send me stuff and all that. I'm all for it. You want to send me something, send it. But yeah, just have something for them to offer for sure. It's a really good thing. So just in case you are just tuning in, I'm answering the questions. Actually, we're kind of answering the questions together that were sent in, and we went through some Instagram questions. We've gone through some YouTube questions. And so also Tim Henderson, he said, I really want to start a channel on fishing. Any tips? Really think about it. If you want to start a YouTube channel on fishing, and I don't know if you're on here, if you have a YouTube channel, if you do, man, put it in the chat, and we can go, and everybody can go and check out your channels and subscribe to them. But man, if you really want to start a channel on fishing, it's actually some work. I feel like if it's actually work, and I'm okay with that because I love work, but it's to me, again, because of the type of channel that I have and the type of videos that I do, it's not just me going out and fishing. It's me setting things up and making sure things are good, and cameras, and I have the equipment, and I have all this stuff. So it's a little bit of work. And again, if you're going to grow your channel, you got to be consistent. So you got to be prepared to put out these channels. But if you're somebody who you just want to go fishing, throw them on a GoPro, let people see how you fish, offer some advice, whatever, man, by all means do it. But just again, be consistent about it. You know, to start off with, you don't need a $1,200 camera to start off with. Just start off with something small, but make it entertaining or educational or both. You know, one of the two or both. I go more for the educational side, but it's just who I am. He says, by the way, been a fan for a while. I really like your content. Keep it up. You're a role model and an inspiration to us younger fishermen. God bless you. Thank you so much, Tim. I appreciate it. God bless you. Thank you so much for the support. That was yeah, that was really good. Yeah, Senor Bass Fishing, your question was about cameras. I actually answered your question before you popped on. I apologize. But I'm using a Sony, I think it's an NEX F3 is what it's the official model name. That's my main camera. I also use a GoPro and a SJ4000 action camera. Hoping to upgrade my cameras, all of my cameras this year, but we'll see about that. Mike Curry, what kind of bait should I start with as someone just starting out? You guys feel free to chime in on this. What kind of bait should I start with as somebody who's just starting out bass fishing? I started off, so when I started getting into bass fishing, I watched YouTube channels. That was my main thing. I wanted to know everything about bass fishing. I started reading articles, finding out where to find bass, how to find bass, how to fish for bass, what to do, blah, 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 blah. And I started out really almost exclusively, yeah, Senko's, almost exclusively fishing Texas rig brush hogs. I think I fished Texas rig brush hogs for an entire year without going to anything else. And I just, Texas rig brush hogs. And I caught many fish on Texas rig brush hogs. It became a very, it became very comfortable for me. This was my setup. It was like an old spinning reel that I think my dad had given me or something. And then I bought like a Walmart rod or something, some cheap thing, or a friend bought one for me for my birthday. Went out, got some that Berkeley, what is it called? It's the Berkeley fluorocarbon that you find at Walmart. I can't remember what kind it is. And then I EWG hooks, a weight, and a brush hog, and I just fished a Texas rig all year long. And the first time I caught a fish was incredible. I still remember, I still fished that lake, but I remember when, and I remember exactly where I was on the lake and how I caught that fish. And it was a spot that I went back to multiple times and caught a lot of fish out of, because they would just be right there. It was close to the bank. So for me, a Texas rig brush hog, but yeah, a Senko. I mean, people have enormous success with Senkos. I don't, but people do. So a Senko, you know, learning to fish crankbaits, they can be a little bit frustrating at first if you are getting snagged up and things like that. But learning to use your crankbaits, watch videos on them. I have a lot of videos on crankbaits and helping you to not get as snagged up as some people do. It gets really frustrating. But there's a lot of different baits that you can throw, but for sure I would start off with something simple like a Texas rig or a wacky rig, you know, again, Senko or something, you know, a creature bait, anything like that. And I have a video on the Texas rig that you can go and check out on my channel, showing you how to tie it and all that stuff. So yeah, so let me move on. There's actually just one more question. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to put those in the chat. But just one more. And this one's a local guy, because he's asking about a local. Do you fish the Southern Napa River for stripers? Where's the best place to launch a kayak? I don't fish the Napa River. I've never fished the Napa River. I want to. I've done striper fishing. I've never caught more than a 11-inch striper, unfortunately. But yeah, and that's another thing. I actually just got the Spartacus, what is it? Spartacus Maximus from Casking, and it is saltwater rated, and I'm going to use that for striper fishing, guys, because I want to do some more striper fishing. But yeah, that's that's something that I am excited about. Something that I want to do more of is some more striper fishing. My favorite casking bait caster. Ooh. The Spartacus Plus. I'm going to say the Spartacus Plus. It has to be my favorite one. There's just something about that reel that is so... No, actually, that's not true. I'm gonna take that back. The Speed Demon has to be my favorite one. Or it's almost even between the Spartacus Plus and the Speed Demon. I love the Speed Demon. I love the power behind it. I love the speed behind it. It's just a fantastic, fantastic reel. Love it, love it, love it, love it. But yeah, guys, so those are the questions that I have. If you guys have any more questions, let me know. I really appreciate you guys being on here. You know, the channel is growing. It is steadily growing. I'm getting closer and closer and closer to 2,000 subs, which is awesome. Every day I go and I see more subs on the channel, and it's a really cool thing to think that people want to watch my videos. But you can also find my videos over on the Casking channel and a couple of my videos over on the Bass Resource YouTube channel as well, which is amazing. If you haven't seen my video that I posted, at the beginning of this year, go and check that out. I talk about last year and I talk about my goals for this year as well. But there's a lot that's going to happen. There's a lot that's going to happen this year, and yeah, I'm super excited about this year. There's going to be a lot of change personally in my life, and I'm really going to devote and dedicate a lot more to this channel. Senor Bass Fishing, would you ever consider opening a Spanish-speaking channel? I don't know. I really don't know if I would do a Spanish-speaking channel. It's a possibility. It's a possibility. It would be definitely a whole separate channel. I don't think I would do it on this channel, but it would be a whole separate channel that I would do, and maybe call it like El Pastor Pescador or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. It's something that could possibly be in the works, but again, that's a whole another thing to it. But hey, it might be a good idea. We'll talk about that. But again, thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully, I answered your questions to your satisfaction. I certainly answered them to the best of my ability. But yeah, if you wanna sign off, that's awesome. If not, we can stay and chat and talk and hang out and do whatever. Mike Curry, what kind of bait caster should you buy? You know, I love this, Mike. I know you're just getting into bass fishing, and I appreciate you being here, man. I'm grateful to be able to help you out. What kind of bait caster should you buy? You know, I'm a little bit biased. I'm going to be honest. I like the Caskings. I love their bait casters. I think they have great bait casters. You know, and make sure you watch some videos. Again, a lot of people can get frustrated on bait casters. Actually, you know, something really cool that happened this year, guys, is my how to use a bait caster video that I posted. It was either sometime last year or the year before. It actually hit 100,000 views, and it's like at 106,000 right now or something, and that is absolutely incredible to me, guys. And that video's just been really popular. It hit 10,000 and then just took off, and now it's over 100,000 views, and it's really helped my channel grow for sure. But what kind of bait caster, man? Yeah, the Spartacus Plus is great. The Assassin, the Casking Assassin reel. I've heard great things about the Stealth. It's the one casking bait caster that I don't have, but I've heard really great things about it. Some really great reviews and what I know about casking. And the great thing is that they're inexpensive, so you don't have to dish out a load of money. So the Assassin or the Spartacus Plus is actually really great. Those are the ones that I would recommend. The Speed Demon, I think, I feel personally is a little bit more advanced. Just my opinion. But yeah, the stealth or the assassin, I'd go for one of those two as a first one. Would I ever consider collaborating on some videos? Yeah, absolutely, totally. Actually, I'm supposed to be collaborating on one with another casking brand ambassador. We're supposed to be doing a challenge. I haven't been able to do it. He put his out, and I haven't put mine out. But yeah, or there you go. Traveling fisherman. Start out with the Royale Legend. There you go. The Royale Legend. Actually, that's another one that I don't have, is the Royale Legend. Yeah. Huh. That's one I got to get my hands on. So, again, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you. If you have any more questions, make sure to, you can leave them in the comments. You can email me, thefishandpastor@gmail.com. You can find me on Instagram. I have a Facebook page now. If you haven't gone and followed and liked that page, make sure to go and check out my Facebook page. But hopefully, like I said, hopefully I answered your questions to your satisfaction. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to pop off now, and I'm going to... I can't do any fishing now. It's too late to do any fishing now, but I'm going to get going, and look out on my channel for some more videos. There's some more videos coming this week to the channel. Just filmed a couple of things, some quick tips and some other stuff. So thanks again for watching, guys. Really appreciate you guys. Remember always to pray, fish, repeat. God bless. I'll see you in my next video.